Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mentally Tough Coaching, where I'm giving you the information and the tools and the confidence that you guys need to help teach the mental aspect of the game to your athletes, and in particular, mental toughness. So in the past video, we covered how mental toughness has been developed in the past. So today I want to cover who does mental training. The individuals conducting mental skills training are generally CMPCs, and what that stands for is Certified Mental Performance Consultant. These individuals are certified by the Association for Applied Psychology. These individuals can work with either teams or the individuals on the teams. Like I said, these consultants can work with teams. However, with that being said, these consultants may only be able to meet once or twice a week for an hour. Therefore, it really limits the ability to build the rapport and the trust and that really good relationship that's needed to enhance some of these mental skills. While doing individual work, some individuals believe that the performance consultant's role is to just enhance performance, and others believe that they should take a more holistic approach. I myself believe in the more holistic approach because there's many aspects that go into an individual's performance rather than just the game. Right? School might be an impacting factor, family, and other outside factors might be impacting their performance. However, as I mentioned in the mental health discussion video, these individuals, like myself, are not trained most of the time in the mental health side. Therefore, if there's any concern of psychological distress or mental health concerns, they should obviously refer to a mental health practitioner who is specialized in whatever area is necessary. So now I want you to think about your own position as a coach and all the time that you spend with your athletes. It's probably 2 to 3 hours a night, 5 days a week for maybe, 12 weeks in a season. This adds up to about 150 or more hours that the athlete and coach are spending time together. With that being said, a coach has to take on a lot of responsibilities. Mike Voigt writes a really important research article about the different responsibilities that coaches need to take on. And in particular, there are 4 aspects that he identified. The 4 aspects include quality attitude, preparation, execution, and control. A quality attitude involves a coach understanding their philosophy and behaviors and how that will impact their athletes. If an athlete perceives an inadequate level of a preferred coaching behavior, it may result in a drop in motivation and satisfaction, which of course impacts performance. So as a coach, really understand and sit down and come up with your philosophy. Take note of some of the behaviors that you show in practice and during games. It may also be beneficial to explain to your team your philosophy. Another aspect of the coach's attitude is the attention given to the mental side of sport. Many coaches bring into consideration some details about the psychology in sport, such as things like mental toughness, but they're not actually training their athletes in it and helping them improve their mental game. The next aspect of coaching is quality coach preparation. Coaches can help athletes set up individual goals and standards for upcoming practices in the season. These goals lead to more motivation and help athletes go in more prepared. Coaches can also teach the athletes how to improve focus and redirect focus when it's lost. Lastly, when athletes are learning new skills, coaches need to implement variability in practice. Maybe implementing visual and auditory distractions, change the speed and the timing of the execution, or practicing specific game conditions is crucial for athletes improving a skill. The third aspect is quality execution and involves the simulation of game scenarios in practice, so the athlete is ready for all aspects when it comes to that in competition. Feedback regarding the performance should be provided during the practice, which may improve motivation and energize the athlete. An important thing to know is that too much feedback may distract the athlete and cause them to think too much about their performance and what they're doing. Coaches should learn and be understanding of how their athletes learn best, whether that is through visuals, auditory, kinesthetic, or imagery training. The fourth and final aspect is a coach's quality control. This refers to the methods that a coach can use to discover the effectiveness of their coaching. Coaches should be open to a discussion with their athletes on things that they can improve on. So not only should the coaches be giving the athletes feedback, but they should be open to the athletes giving them feedback. In addition, coaches should evaluate their own practice and if it was the best use of their time, and evaluate themselves and the other coaches or the staff to find room for improvement. So after learning how important it is and how beneficial training the mental side of the sport can be, why are coaches not doing it more often? A research study by Gould et al. In 1999 researched junior tennis coaches and asked them about their use of mental tools. The coaches reported that mental training was beneficial and important in the success of their athletes. The coaches also reported about 80% of their athletes struggled with the mental side of the game. However, not many of the coaches actually implemented and trained their athletes on the mental side. The two main reasons for the coaches not doing so was time restrictions and not having the knowledge. And that's what I'm here for. I want to give coaches the confidence and the knowledge to train the mental side that maybe they're not getting elsewhere. Obviously, the study was a little older, right? So things for sure have changed. Unfortunately, it does not appear so. Creasy et al. In 2009 interviewed NCAA head coaches and asked the same questions. Are you training the mental side? Why not? Out of the 22 coaches interviewed, only 2 attempted to even develop the mental side. The 2 main reasons: time restrictions and not having the knowledge. It's actually believed that coaches might be in the best position to be doing the mental training rather than a CMPC. In addition to having a pre-existing relationship, it is believed that learning is more efficient when the tactile, physical, and technical skills are taught alongside the mental skills. This model of coaches doing the training is known as the supervisory consulting model with an integrative approach. This integrative model views mental skills as life skills, similar to myself. These skills can be used not only in sport, but also through everyday performances, maybe a job interview, maybe an exam, and other difficulties or performances that someone will encounter. So many of you may agree with me that one of the most important parts of being a successful coach is developing that coach-athlete relationship. My research has led me to the mediational model of coach-player relationships, created by Smith et al. In 1989. This model takes into account individual differences, both affective and cognitive processes from both sides, both the coach and the athlete. There are 3 main factors in this model: the overt coaching behavior, the player perception, and the player's attitudes. The researchers did an interesting study looking at Little League baseball players as well as the coaches. The results indicated that the overt coaching behaviors and the players' perceptions were directly related to the players' attitudes on the coaches. In other words, meaningful relationships can be developed when the coach is encouraging and using reinforcement, and the players are perceiving that as such. Unfortunately, there's still coaches out there that enforce militaristic style of coaching to kind of fill their own ambition, all while ignoring the potential chance of injury, burnout, and depression among the athletes. This mistreatment can leave athletes feeling resentment towards their coaching and maybe even resentment towards that sport. Potentially a lot of coaches watching this now have had this experience with coaches and started to resent their sport in general. Another important research was done by Jowett and Cockerill in 2002. The researchers identified 3 interpersonal constructs: closeness, co-orientation, and complementarity. Closeness refers to the emotional tone of the relationship. So maybe the like and the trust, or potentially even the dislike and the distrust between the coach and the athlete. Co-orientation refers to the viewpoints and the opinions of the athlete and the coach, and whether or not they feel comfortable in sharing and expressing those different opinions and views. Obviously, as a coach, it's very important to understand where your athletes are coming from, hear their viewpoints, and not judge them. Sarcasm is not always effective when having a meaningful and important conversation. Creating an effective relationship really involves the ability to share their views and their thoughts and their opinions and their experiences and their values without the fear of being judged. Lastly, complementarity is the perception of the relationship being cooperative and effective. And obviously the big key word there is perception. If a coach or athlete is not viewing that relationship as effective, then it's not. It can't be one-sided. An interesting study was done by Gould et al. In 2001, and they researched the individuals who participated in the 1996 Atlanta Summer Olympics. And they wanted to interview them asking about effective communication styles within their coaches. The main takeaway was that the coaches found effective communication to be one that avoided sarcasm and was open, honest, and clear in one's comments. So obviously sarcasm can be a fun way to kind of joke around with your athletes, However, it might not always be the best tool for creating one of those effective relationships and communicating properly. Think about it. If there's problems between elite coaches and elite athletes, there's going to be problems between high school coaches and high school athletes. So think about the things that we talked about today, how to be an effective coach and communicate effectively. This is Mentally Tough Coaching. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Drop a like, drop a comment, and make sure you subscribe. New videos every week. Take care.